Hello. You are listening to the Carroll Connection with your host, Jared Carroll.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Carroll Connection. I'm your host Jared Carroll, here to bring you guys another great episode. I did want to take a chance to shout out last week's episode, or my last episode, I should say, episode 235 with Tyler Valerio. On this episode, he came on to talk about kind of the resurgence he's had on social media, documenting his TMS journey, talking about his mental health struggles, and kind of trying to do his best to overcome those. And if you've seen his journey, you could see how impactful he is. And he's garnered this huge support and audience on social media to help him along this journey and document it, because I feel like a lot of people don't see this side of mental health, and he's being extremely authentic about it. And I think it's super important for you guys to see that. And it was the second time on the podcast, so you can go check out his prior episode as well. You can check that out, thecarrollconnection.simplecast.com. Also available Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the major listening platforms. And if you like to watch your podcast, go on YouTube, search The Carroll Connection, or at Jared M. Carroll, and it'll pop up for you. And if you want to be a guest or return as a guest, hit me up on Instagram at Jared M. Carroll or at The Carroll Connection, and we'll set that up. And I want to plug the 5 Pillars to Creating a Meaningful Life. It's only available on Amazon. And if you really enjoy the book, please submit a review on Amazon, because it does help me in that algorithm. So, for today's episode, bringing in a guest for episode 236, Alexandra.
Hi, how are you?
Welcome to the podcast. And
Thank you
I
for
got to give
having
a
me.
shout out to Brennan Fromm, who was on the podcast, and you followed off that episode, which you guys are mutuals, and kind of reached out to you and was like really interested to get you on the podcast. And just, I like to always shout out people that kind of in some way help link me up to people to get them on the podcast.
Of
So quick
course,
shout
we
out.
love Brennan. We got to shout out Brennan.
Yeah, and that was a great episode. But today we're here to talk about you and what you've been through and what you do. So, quickly, just kind of who you are and what you do currently.
Yeah, so my name's Alexandra Bonugli. I am a salon manager and I also model. So yeah, that's what I do now.
Perfect. And then we'll get into that as we build into this podcast and your life story. So,
Yeah.
how I kind of open up the podcast, like I was telling you off air, is we do family dynamic. And for any new listeners, I always like to kind of explain why we do this. And it's when we're talking about life stories, I like to kind of start with family dynamic. And when I look at family dynamic, I use this kind of same metaphor as like building a house. So, like when you think about a house, you think about the foundation, and you think about the foundation, I relate that to our family for better or for worse. And I think it's important to kind of highlight this piece of the podcast because, like, we all come from different backgrounds. And I think it's good for people to hear this piece because, like, as we build like on your life story, they can kind of paint a picture of kind of who you are and where you come from. And it's whatever you're comfortable with sharing. So with that being said, could you kind of go into what your family dynamic was like?
Yeah, so yeah, I grew up in Tewksbury, Mass. I have an older sister. We're Irish twins, so we're like not even a year apart. So that's always been really fun. Like we've just always had that close connection, doing like same things at the same time practically. So yeah, and then it's just yeah, me, her, my mom, my dad. We grew up in Tewksbury. And yeah, they split when me and my sister were teenagers. So they're divorced now. My dad's remarried. My mom is not, but everything's good. Like my family dynamic is really good. Like my family is really supportive of like all my endeavors and like what I'm doing. I talk to my mom and my sister like every day. I talk to my dad like 2, 3 times a week. I live close to my family, so it's like I can go visit them at any time and things like that. So yeah, I have a really good family dynamic, like the split wasn't fun for me and my sister growing up. We were older, like, so it kind of impacted us in some ways, but like at the end of the day, like everyone now is really happy, healthy and like peaceful.
Yeah,
So,
that's really awesome to hear, honestly, because like I mean, obviously going through it at the time probably wasn't good and fun, but like
yeah.
the fact that like everything seems level for the most part and like you're able to have relationships with both sides and it be good, like I think that's a positive thing because like for a lot of people it's not like that. And like I've had people on the podcast explain their like family dynamics and parents separating and obviously not always being the greatest. So like to hear that is actually kind of refreshing because like
Yeah, it's really
nowadays it's different.
refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more like, definitely not fun to go through at the time. And then like when you're like a teenager and you're questioning, like you're trying to figure out your own life, you're trying to figure out like you're like, oh, like I thought I was supposed to like everyone gets married and stays together forever. And then it's kind of like a reality check of like, oh, that might not happen. But like that's okay. It's kind of like that realization that everyone has to make decisions that are the best for themselves, and they're happier and healthier in that decision. So then it reflects. So it is a positive. A negative like that can bring a positive.
Yeah, that's honestly beautiful to like hear. And like I think it paints a great picture for people because like you need to see that in like a modern society of like a good like separation sometimes like because it's not
Yeah.
always going to work out like I don't even know what the statistics are these days for like marriages that stay together but like it's not it's like almost like tossing a coin sometimes these days and like
Yeah.
you don't know how things are going to go but like having that reflection to understand especially I mean as teenagers that was probably difficult but like looking back and hearing you speak about it the way you are like that reflection and like respect for them to make a decision that was good for them. Like they had to do that, and like you don't want to just stay together for the kids because so many times that never actually works out, and
Yeah.
honestly has the counter effect where it hurts the kids more because now you're painting a picture of a bad relationship, and that impacts children. Like, and
Exactly.
they'll mirror that in their relationships.
Yeah, exactly. And like all I can think about from like my childhood at this point is like me and my sister, like we had so much fun. Like we did everything, like we got everything we wanted. Like when we wanted the iPod, we got it. When we wanted the iPhone, we got it. But like we also just like we lived in a really nice house and we were always outside and we were on our bikes and we were in the neighborhood and it's like I don't have any like bad vibes off of that. Like we just had such a good childhood.
Were you guys
So
always close?
yeah, yeah, we've always been close. And she went into the military at 18. And so when she left, sometimes we weren't as close with that, but that was kind of like a lot of like geography and like
Mhm.
the ability to talk to her, you know what I mean? But like I always missed her and things like that. But like we've always been close. We definitely did that thing as teenagers where we were like beating the crap out of each other a little bit for a while there, but, like, I feel like every sibling does that, especially when you're, like, so close in age, but, like, now, we're super close, and I go to her for advice a lot, and we talk all the time, so,
What branch?
Navy.
Navy. Yep.
Mhm.
Thank you for your service if you listen to this,
Thank you for your service, yes.
because my brother's in the Navy as well, and
Yeah, you said that. Yeah,
yeah,
your
yeah.
brother's in
So
the Navy. Yeah.
I really relate to you on that, and like
Uh-huh.
the struggle of like maintaining that relationship, mostly because of distance, and like
Yeah.
that's a huge piece that people don't like really talk about when you have siblings
Mhm.
in the service, because like for my family, like I was telling you, I have three brothers, and the oldest was in the military. We had the same dad, but we had different moms. But we're just brothers.
Yeah.
But that created a dynamic for us, and he's been on the podcast and he's explained kind of how that impacted him. But when he was always around, I like he would come over on the weekends, and it was like the best thing in the world to us. It was like a treat to have my older brother over. Like it was the
Yeah.
coolest thing. So like when he went away, like I remember crying about it. Like I was super sad about that, and like he was like my role model, honestly, like growing up and like I wanted to dress like him. I wanted to listen to his music. I remember like he first driving around in some beat up shitty car where he started playing Little Wayne and Millie. And like I just
Yeah.
remember bumping that thing and he was the coolest person in the world. And
Yeah,
like
we loved Little Wayne.
I just tried to like emulate him and like when he moved away, like it obviously hurt the relationship in some aspect, like because it's just distance and it's gonna happen when you're not around someone that often and you can only communicate so often when they're especially in different countries too. Like it's
Yeah.
time zones on top of that, which is very difficult to navigate.
Yeah, it's like time zones. It's like kind of like knowing that like my life changed in its own ways at that time. Like I was 17, she was 18, she left the house, but like her life changed completely. I mean, she's just in totally different countries with totally different experiences. And like, as much as like I have my things I'm going through, I'm like, I'm in Massachusetts. Like my life isn't changing as much as hers. So it's almost like when that distance was there, it was like seeing her again after a while. It's like you kind of get to know that person all over again. I never felt like I didn't know her at all by any means, but it's almost like she's gone through things like since we've seen each other last and then you kind of have to like catch up and she can only share what she can share. You probably relate to that.
Mhm.
Like there's not a lot they can share about what they're doing. So that's like kind of nerve-wracking and worrisome, and you're just like, I hope she's been okay, like, I hope everything's good." But honestly, like, every single time that she would come back for, like, a holiday, like you said, it's like it's such a treat, like, everyone's, like, so excited, you know what I mean? And it's just like, we've always been able to pick up where we left off with everything, you know?
Yeah,
So
and we've been able to do pretty much the same. Like right now, uh, he had some separation with the Navy, but he actually got back in, and he's stationed in Hawaii right now. And like
oh, awesome.
he's on the back end, like going towards the 20 years of service. Like he's almost there, and like worked his ass off to be in the situation he's in now. And I know he's super grateful for it, and I'm super jealous that he's out there in Hawaii with his family and stuff like that. And it's difficult sometimes because like I was telling you off air, our way to like connect was always just video games. So like it,
Mhm.
as we get older, we get more responsibilities. He has children, and like time zones here. Like I have my fiance, and like my other brothers are back at my parents' house, and it's hard to get together like on a virtual video game, especially with all that stuff going on. Like
Mhm.
we all work, we all have stuff going on, we all have responsibilities. So like it becomes a challenge every once in a while. But he came back right before he went to Hawaii, like during like November like time frame. And like we've always bonded by playing like flag football with like our friends. And like having him come back because like he originally was in the area for a little bit before he moved away. And we brought him back, we played flag football, and just being able to like catch up with him was like such a blessing to like to have that space. I ended up breaking my finger during that, so we ended
Oh
up
my
stop.
god.
It was this whole thing.
Oh, no.
I can't even like bend this finger
Oh my god,
like
I can see it's, like, not equal to your other
yeah. And
fingers.
like
Oh my god.
this like yeah, it was a whole thing. Like I got it caught, and it was like this whole fucking thing. It was so bad. I my age, I probably should stop doing stuff like that. Like
No,
we're
no,
getting
you
into
shouldn't.
space. Like
We got a life to live. Like,
I'm ho-
absolutely not.
it's so hard. It's just like some small like that. Like we're just playing for fun.
Yeah.
Impacted so much of like my like holiday season. Like even like I'll never probably have full function of being able to bend that finger the same way. Like
That's
it's
yeah.
and it's just because of the way that it got caught. Like I went to like grab like pull someone's flag, and like it got caught on like their hip, and like
Yeah.
boom. And but it didn't take away from the time. And I remember even saying to him like, I'm so glad that you were here and we got to play. And like
Of
it was this like
course.
whole thing. But and then I also wanted to add of like having a sibling close in age. Me and my other brother, who's younger than me, he we're I'm 95, he's 97, and he's technically was the grade under me, but like a little bit bigger of an age gap.
Mhm.
But like we were like always beating the shit out of each other, like
Yeah, oh my
constantly,
god,
just
we
like
went through, like, a phase where it was just, like, we were beating the shit out of each other, but then we would laugh about it 10 minutes later. I don't know if you guys did that, but we would, like, just completely go at each other, and then we would just, like, look at each other and start, like, dying laughing,
oh
and we're
no,
like,
we
"What
would
the hell just
we would hold the
happened?"
beef. We would hold the
Oh,
beef.
you
It
would
was
hold up so you guys grudged.
yeah,
See, we didn't
constantly.
grudge.
I think maybe it was a brother thing, and it was just like we have such an interesting relationship. It's so much better now. Like we're able to have conversations and actually connect. But like back then, like my brother's not a super talkative person to begin with, and obviously I do a podcast, so here I am like yapping
Mhm.
away. But we would just butt heads constantly, and like everything was always a competition too. And that was partially sports and partially like my dad always being involved as a coach, and like we're always going against each other in some form or fashion, whether it's
Yeah.
like a football game or baseball. Like I'm pitching to him, he's hitting off me, like basketball 1v1. Like it was always just like a competition. And like in some ways it was so beneficial because like I think the stereotypical like cliche thing is like iron sharpens iron. Like we constantly always went at each other, but it made us better. And
Yeah.
like that relationship was super helpful. And like even though we would butt heads all the time, like if anyone else tried to, I'd beat their ass. Like that's my only we could do that to each other.
Yeah,
Like
like, it's
no
only
one
okay if
else.
I say it. It's only okay if I do it. Like, you can't no,
Yeah,
this is my family,
it's a
like
privilege, older sibling like privilege. Like you can't do that, but I can do that to them.
Mhm.
And like it's just like this protective nature. And like it was always like that though with all my brothers are just constantly butting heads and just being a little like aggressive with each other. And it's just like kind of like the stereotypical like brother relationship. Like we lived that. And like
Of
hearing
course,
hearing
yeah.
your relationship with your sister in some way kind of like brought that like memory back too.
Yeah, totally. Like, it happens with sisters too, but, like, same thing, like, no one could mess with my sister and no one and vice versa. Like, it's like protect each other. And she's a year older than me, so she probably had to be a little bit more protective of me
Mhm.
than I am of her. Like I didn't really run into that as much, but at the end of the day, like if I heard something, like I would 100% be like, "Hey, that's my sister." Like, no, no, no. Like,
Yeah. It's such
so
a blessing to have a sibling, though. I think it's one of those
I don't
underrated things that, like,
yeah, I
I
can't
wish.
imagine not having my sister.
Yeah.
If I was an only child, I would have been so bored. What would I have done? You know what I mean? Like, I would have had to, like, have friends over all the time. Like, I would have
That
been like, "Mom, like, this person needs to come over after school. Like, I'm bored." Like
you gotta think too, it's like your sibling is usually your first friend too on top of that. So it's
mhm.
like it's literally how you learn to socialize with people is through your siblings or cousins typically too. Like that kind of interaction, it's usually like the safe space for like our parents to interact have their children interact with other children is people they know or their own children or stuff of that nature. So like when I think about that, like it makes me appreciative to like having siblings and having those relationships because like I know not everyone has that, and it is
Yeah,
a blessing.
exactly. It's
So,
such a blessing.
continuing this conversation though, I wanted to kind of move it a little bit forward and, like, talk about, like, childhood and, like, did you, like, play sports? Did you have hobbies? Like, kinda how else did you, like, socialize?
Yeah, so I danced from like the age of 3 till my senior year of high school. So that was like my big thing. I absolutely loved it. So I made all my friends through dance primarily, and then like going to school, of course, and things. And then I also played basketball for a good duration. I think I started like right when you could. Like I went to like the clinic and did all of that, and I played it up until middle school, and then I sprained my ankle, and like after I sprained my ankle, I just like kind of was a baby on the court and like I just like didn't want to really play anymore. And I
Yeah.
like loved dance so much. Like that was my thing. So that was like where I made my friends.
What kind of dance was it?
I did ballet, tap, and jazz, and then I added on hip hop later on. So
What were you part of, like, any was it, like, competitive?
yeah, I did some competitions. My jazz and tap were competitions. I would do a competition once a year, actually in Rhode Island. It was like a West Coast dance competition we did. So I did that. I didn't do like a lot of competitions. Like my studio kind of focused on one, and then we
Mhm.
did like our recital, and we did a couple other like small venues and things. But I think at one point I was in like 13 or 14 classes a week. Like that
Jeez.
was like I went to school, went to dance, I, like, did my homework in between classes, like, got home, made dinner, like, finished up my homework and went to bed. Like, that was just, like, my thing,
It sounds like
100%.
a super grueling process. Like, how taxing was that on you at that age?
It very, like, very, but you know what? I, like, enjoyed it so much, and you're so young that, like, you're not really getting tired in that way. Like, I mean, I could never in a million years do a lot of the things I was doing then now. Like, I would think it's very taxing at this age, but, like, I just don't think I thought of it like that. Like, and the thing is like, it is very taxing, but like they condition you so well that like you're always stretching, like you're always like, it's like almost the stuff that I want to do now more. I was doing all the time then. So I almost want to go back to that time period because I'm like, hey, I stretched every day. Like I did like cardio every day. Like they just had us conditioned so well that like, I got my rest and I was definitely healthy about it, but like I didn't feel my body in like a lot of pain because it didn't really I feel like the more you do it, it was so natural, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I relate to that, honestly. I think about it all the time of, like, I wish that, like, I had more structured, like, sports, honestly. Like, it's different now because like, now the injury's a little more serious, though, heal as fast as you did when you're younger and those in sports, and, like, I appreciated being able to play, like I played football pretty much my whole life, played baseball most of my life, played a little bit of basketball, but sports taught me so much about who I was, and, like, for a long time, it was my identity too, which it
Mhm.
became an issue later in life when sports end, like, you have to figure out who you are when you don't have a ball in your hand, and it's like, that's a difficult thing to navigate, and a lot of people, unfortunately, including myself, go to, like, alcohol and stuff like that. You go to the college experience, and you fall down these rabbit holes, but in my youth, like, having sports really grounded me, kept me structured, and, like, having that level of discipline and consistency taught me so many things that, like, I even apply to, like, the podcast, like,
Yeah.
being able to do this as often as I have for as long as I have comes from the stuff that I learned in sports of, like, being structured and, like, even, like, how I painted, like, the script kind of like the of what we're gonna talk about here today. Like, that all that stuff, that organization comes from my sports. Like I learned that stuff through sports, and luckily for me, like my a lot of my cousins played with me, like my brother played with me, my dad was involved in coaching, so like it was family and friends when
Mhm.
I was involved in a lot of this stuff. And like I'm super grateful that like my family was super supportive. Like I remember like grandparents, aunts and uncles would come to our games, and like everyone would be there, and it like it meant something. Like and
Yeah.
it really shapes me to be the person who I am. And that's honestly why I talk about this on the podcast, because like I felt like sports really created a version of me that I was really proud of. And it really helped me grow to who I am today.
Mhm.
And I think it's important to like see if people when they come on have that similar experience. And like it doesn't matter what sport or hobby you do, but having some type of like structured, organized thing can really help a lot of people. And I think it's important to kind of dive into this. So when I hear you talking about dance, I'm like, that really resonates with me, and I really lean into those conversations about organized sports and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely shaped me a lot at that age and even now. Like I definitely have things in life now that I can reflect back and be like, "Oh yeah, like that did help me so much." Like, in the present day. But at the same time, like it definitely what I really liked about my experience with dance is like my parents didn't like put any pressure on me with it and they didn't like need or want me to be the best. Like they just wanted me to enjoy it. Like they really did. Like they were so supportive. My mom, like, sewed all my costumes, like, I'd get, like, 10 costumes at once, and I'd come home and I'd be like, "Mom, like, this needs an alteration, this needs an alteration," and she would just be like, "Alright, like, let's go," you know what I mean? And, like, I know she came home from, like, a long, hard day, and, like, she just did all that stuff, and, like, I'm so appreciative of that, and I really my experience with dance too, like I said, like, I didn't have to be the best at it, so there was no pressure, and it really was, like, if I had a bad day or like as I got a little older and like things started to happen in the household and stuff, like it was my pure escape from reality in like the best way. Like it became really therapeutic. I think like when I started to get into teenage years and I made that connection with like, oh, like this is, like exercise or sports, I started to like have that understanding that it was like really healthy and therapeutic for me. And like I just loved it so much for those reasons too. So I wasn't trying to like be the best dancer in the room. I just really was there for that purpose.
Yeah, it's funny how it becomes from like this version of the sport, and then all of a sudden, as you grow with it, it becomes your outlet.
That's exactly what it was, an outlet, like, that's a perfect word. It's like and I think about it now because 'cause I'm not dancing anymore as an adult, but, like, that's my whole thing with going to the gym and getting my exercise. It's like, that's 100% my outlet, and I don't need to be, like, the most athletic or lift the heaviest weight, but I just it's my outlet. Like, I need it, you know?
Yeah, I resonate. I still find myself going to the gym. I try to get there at least 3 to 4 times a week. That's like my goal, and then I've been trying to incorporate running. I like running. It's just so hard to motivate myself to do that shit. Like
Yeah, it's hard.
because it's nice after you do it, but like
Mhm.
I have friends that are like super into marathon running, and like I don't know when that's gonna click on in my brain, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's super fun, but it hasn't happened yet. I'm kind of like, nah.
I know, and I just it's so funny you say that because I started running again very recently after, like 3 years ago, I was really on a good regimen with it, but I don't think I was fueling my body the right way to, like, sustain it, and now I've kinda gone back and I've been running more recently, and I've been, like, much more realistic about it. Like, I am not like, I'm at, like, a 10-minute mile, like, I don't care.
That's so
Like,
good
I'm
though.
just doing it, you know? It's like, yeah, it's like, I feel like I could be better, but, like, I'm just doing it to do it and to, like 'cause I grew up hating running, like, absolutely hating it, and, like, I'm now at the point where I'm like, "I don't wanna hate it." Like, I just wanna, like, figure out how to like it, and I don't know if I'll ever run a marathon, but I'm like, I wanna do a good 5K, you know? Like, a
Yeah.
good 5K I'm comfortable with, and like you said, though, like, you feel good about it after, but, like, I still hate the process. Like, I
Oh yeah.
still hate the physical running. Like, if I don't have my headphones, it's not happening. Like, there's certain things, you know?
I've started doing because I use TikTok for like a variety of things these days, and like I started what's been helping me like do the runs is I do a song of the run. So like I'll just like I hate bringing my phone with me. I usually just like having my watch because I can just do my music that way. Because I
Mhm.
hate something in my hands. But I was like, I'll just run my phone and I just like record stuff around me, and then I pick one song that I'll start my run with, and just post it on TikTok and do like a song of the run.
Oh,
It's like the song
cool.
that's helping me get through my run. And it's just been something like to make it a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
Cause like I don't think running's that fun. I used to be a huge outlet for me. Like I feel like mostly because I was like depressed and like I was just like trying to just run away from stuff that I didn't want to feel.
You're like, "I literally need to run away."
Yeah, so like it helped, but like now I don't love it as much, and I just don't want to do it as much. But like I know it's good to do it. It's good for your lungs, good for your heart. Like it's important to try to use that because it's different than like lifting weights in a gym and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a way to be active, and it's just a creative little outlet that I've been trying. It's not doing too great on TikTok, but like it's helped me enjoy the process a little
Yeah,
bit
it's
more.
helped you, like, get to the run and, like, enjoy it more, for
Yeah, so
sure.
I kind of like do that every once in a while. Like I should be doing like a mile or two every day, but I'm just still like, nah, I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
Last year, I was very motivated because I went to the Azores last summer, so like I was like dead set on losing a specific amount of weight. So I was like running every day, and like I hit the goal. And like this summer, I'm like, I'm in a good spot. Like I'm not like
Like,
I'm
you're not
in,
trying to be cutthroat, like
yeah, I'm in this group where it's like you gain and lose the same 5, 10 pounds, and it's like it just kind of is what it is.
that's
Like
like a yeah, that's, like, where I'm at, like, a life comfortability of, like, if I'm in, like, that 10-pound radius, like, everything's good.
yeah,
Everything
like
checks out.
that's kind of where I'm at, and like it's important to exercise, so I try to do that, but like it's to the point where I don't want to like over fixate on something that's going to be bad for like my own mental health for no
Of
reason.
course.
What am I training for? Like what like realistically, like, I'm not training to like be like a bodybuilder or a marathon runner. Like it's a lifestyle thing. So like trying not to be so over fixated on it like has been like kind of something that I'm trying to be better at. Like
Mhm.
I don't know if you're familiar with Noah Khan or if you listen to Noah Khan at all. He's like a folk kind of artist from like
I
Vermont.
was gonna say I've heard of
He's
him, and I
very
feel like
viral
I've
right
seen him,
now.
like, everywhere recently, and I'm like, "I
Yeah.
just need to listen to him."
He I encourage you to listen to him
Yeah.
because it's very New England music, very like very mental health music in there
Okay.
too. So like there's a lot of like trauma from his family and stuff. But he dropped a documentary recently and he was talking about body dysmorphia. And like he was just in the gym talking about it. He's like, I've never really opened up about this. And like hearing him speak on it, like I feel like I kind of struggle with like body image too. Like I just partially being like a shorter guy and like struggling with the way I look and like having to admit that he admitted that on the camera and was like, it's just so relatable. Like, and like
Mhm.
you see someone on that level and he comes across as very like authentic, real, like it's someone that if you drove up to like Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, this is the type of guy you see up there.
Yeah.
Like it just feels like that.
Mhm.
And seeing someone talk about that was like so relatable. And like, I think if more people could have that message than the stuff that's pushed to us on social media of like, you see all these fitness people, you gotta work out, you gotta do this, you gotta exercise, you gotta track your food, and like that stuff is important. But like, there's a space in the middle of all that that I think most people could probably reach if it was actually like portrayed in like a healthy way.
Yeah, like, and I think a lot of the issue with social media right now is, like, a lot of this content is coming from people that they're not professionals. They're not the people that should be putting out this content, and it's like, I've just had so many times, especially more recently, where I'm like, "Just get off the phone." Like, really, like, go take the walk, you know? It's better than listening to all this garbage from people that don't have the education to even be speaking. And like, I feel like my relationship with social media when it comes to fitness, I mean, we're definitely seeing like a lot of like the Ozempic stuff, which I just like I don't even care. I'm like, it's just not my I'm never gonna not do it the way I do it. Like I'm not interested in that. So I see that it's there, but like not my style. And then like with the fitness content, like being very fear mongering and just like in your face and like shouting at you. I'm just like you said, like, I'm like, what am I training for? Like, I'm not training for a marathon. Like, and I've just really like, I have to remind myself it's not always easy, but I'm like, the gym is an act of self love or any exercise, not just the gym. Like, just moving your body is a self love act. It's not to look in the mirror and like body dysmorphia, like, that's real. So I definitely will check that out because
Yeah,
like people being open about it, it's just, and other people being able to relate to it is like really important. You know, we're all kind of I don't think I mean, I don't wanna say every single person's going through it, but a lot of people are going through it, and, like, the more open people are, and then everyone can take the pressure off each other, you know what I mean? It's like, why are we putting all this pressure on ourselves, you know? Like, just enjoy your life.
Yeah, and that's like such a hard thing I feel like for a lot of us is like figuring out how to be happy with how we see ourselves versus like actually taking care of yourself too. Like
Yeah.
it's a hard thing to navigate, and I mean I don't know if there is a perfect place to figure out where to like land that plane. And like I've been struggling with that for a long time. Of like there's versions of myself that I'll love, and like seasons of myself that I love, and then winter will come, and I'm a big fan of Taco Bell. It's like my favorite thing. I talk about that all the time. Like
Mhm.
I'll put down a crunch wrap. I'll easily do that. Or we have a I don't know if they have this up in the part of Massachusetts that you're from, but like the Greg's restaurant. I don't know if you've ever been to Greg's. It's like they have this death by chocolate cake that I fucking love.
Oh my god, that sounds so good.
It's
I've never
it's
been, but
if you're a chocolate lover, it's like heaven on earth. And like
mhm.
I always try to get that for my birthday or a slice of that every once in a while. And it's like trying to like be kind to myself. It's like it's okay to have that stuff. Like like am I doing the stuff I'm supposed to? Am I going to the gym and moving my body? Like because you should be moving your body. We've created a world this generation where we don't have to do that as much.
Mhm.
And we're seeing the negatives of that. Like it affects your mental health too on top of that. So like going for the walk. Like I've been doing that a lot more instead of running is like after lunch, like I'll eat my lunch at work and then just go walk a mile. And then I'll come home and me and my fiance will go on like a 2 mile walk. And like incorporating that a little bit more and like moving the body, like because like it's energy. You got to move it and you'll feel better for doing it. Like, and especially like walks, like it's the easiest thing we could do. Get your steps in.
Yeah.
Like that is something super easy and tangible that we could all do better at. And it's like incorporating that like a little bit more into your life. Just think about like your lunch break. Like that's what I started doing was like, all right, I get like an hour for lunch. Like realistically, it doesn't take me an hour to eat my lunch. Like
Yeah. I
it takes
was gonna
probably
say,
like
I'm jealous you get an hour for lunch. I get a
yeah,
half hour, and, like, that's just, like, not
definitely
acceptable.
not enough time.
No.
I would my fiance goes to the same struggle. I'm like, I don't know. I can
Like, a half hour, like, it's taking me 50 minutes to decide what I want for lunch if I
yeah.
didn't bring something, like, getting to the place to go get the food, like, come on,
It's
like,
a whole
it's just
process. Like
it's a
it
whole thing.
yeah,
A
that
half hour, like, just flies by.
it's not enough. Like so like I'm lucky enough to have that. So like it maybe takes me I will wolf down some food quick. Like I don't know
Yeah.
what's wrong with me, but like it'll be gone before you even finish like 2 bites of yours. And so like I'll finish that and I'm like, all right, a mile's like 15, 20 minutes depending on how I'm moving. Like just go walk. And like I don't have to do a full mile because like I don't want to come back to work sweating. But like
Mhm.
just move. It's good for your digestive system too. And like that stuff is just super valuable. And I found that space a lot more what's the word I'm looking for? Just it's calming, it's nicer, like it versus like coming home from work and I'm like, oh, I have to go run. Like that's just like that's too
Yeah.
much sometimes.
Well, because
So
like, that's, like, where it gets not even healthy for you because, like, if you're dreading it, you're, like, probably stressing yourself out about how much you're dreading it, and then, like, the biggest thing that I've been seeing recently is that, like, your stress response in life to everything is so key for, like, how you're gonna survive well, and it's like, if it's stressing you out too much, like, sometimes it's just better not to do it. And, like, it's not like you're not doing anything, like, taking the walk is great, so it's like you're doing something else that's great. You don't have
yeah,
to, like, worry about it, you know?
doing stuff like that, just getting in nature, going on walks. Like I'm huge advocate of that. I love doing that
Mhm.
stuff. Like I love during the fall, I love going up to New Hampshire, hiking a mountain. Like there's nothing more
It's
rewarding.
beautiful there, yeah,
Yeah, doing
absolutely
that.
beautiful.
Go hike a mountain, go stop at a local brewery right after that, get
Yeah.
some nice food. Like it's there's nothing but like that's like my
It's,
favorite
like,
time of year.
balance, like, you just
Yeah.
hiked all day, like, go get a good meal and, like, go have a beer and,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Do a light you start the day, like my favorite thing is me and my buddy will wake up like 4 or 5 in the morning, drive up there. We do it all on a day trip. Drive up there, just chatting, catching up, hike a mountain, come down, get a nice beer, nice sandwich after, a burger, whatever it is, and then drive back and just cruise and like so it, it's so just rewarding for some reason. Like I just
Yeah,
love doing it. Like I mean, you're burning a ton of calories hiking a
you
mountain. So like
are.
having that experience is like making exercise fun. Like kind of
Mhm,
like what we've been talking about, like with even just like my song of the run stuff. Like just finding ways to make it fun is
yes,
gonna help you do it.
100%.
I do want to start taking us to a little bit more current day, and we're getting closer towards like you're getting like past like senior year of high school, you're graduating. Take me down the path of like where you go. Do you go to college? Do you not go to college? You talked about your sister going in the military. That's now looks like it could be an option. Like what do you do?
Yeah, so I definitely yeah, my sister went to the military and I definitely had at least my dad was very like, "You should consider it, you should consider it." And I kind of I think with our age situation, I kind of got put into like always kind of having to do what she did, and I just hated that after a while, especially as I got older. I was like, "I need to think for myself. Like, I wanna do what I wanna do." So I got my cosmetology license through high school. I went to a vocational school, so that's how I got my hair license. So I kinda got faced with, like, do I wanna do hair right after high school, or do I wanna go explore things? And I was like, I definitely think I wanna go to college. So I did all the prep work. I like had good SATs. I did my college applications. I toured schools and all that. And I got into UNH and I got into the nutrition program, which I really wanted to do because my junior year of high school, I ended up losing 45 pounds and I just got really into and like we've been having these conversations. Like I'm very into fitness and health and like having a healthy relationship with food and all of that. So I had a full ride to do that. And unfortunately, my senior year of high school, I went through something very traumatic. At the end of the year, I got sexually assaulted, and it took me on a very bad path for 2 years, like 3 years. And I just couldn't go to college, in that fashion. I wasn't confident enough to, like, take the steps to go to the university, like, I just wasn't in a good headspace. I didn't wanna go there and drop out. I would have to take out so many loans, it's so much money, and I just, like, had gone through something terrible, and I just, like, really wasn't the person that even, like, applied to that school. It just was so life-changing. So, I stayed home, I went to Middlesex. I did 2 semesters there. I just was dealing with so much anxiety, depression. I had developed an eating disorder because I just was in such a bad place that I couldn't really continue school. So I dropped out of school. I ended up going into a mental health facility for a month and I came back and I just worked. I worked at Market Basket. I just tried to save money, tried to like take care of myself and just like get back on my feet. So like I didn't go to college. I pretty much like after I went through that, I kind of tried to find my passion still with dealing with my mental health issues. So I ended up doing a few different things. Like I worked at a vet for a year and I absolutely love animals and I had a great experience with that. So I worked there for a year and then I ended up leaving that job because they were changing owners and they changed like a lot of their policies and it kind of just like wasn't the job that I signed up for. So I was like, this isn't going to work for me. Um, and then, yeah, after that, I went back into hair and I kind of feel like I did a full circle with my career. I was like, I did all of that and then I ended up back into hair. But I felt like high school was like too early of a just like a time to make that decision. Like, I was like, I don't know if I can like, I got the hair license, like, I like doing it, but I was like, I don't know if I can just do this for the rest of my life right now. Cause that's like how it sounded. I was like really trying to go to college and have that opportunity to expand. And then yeah, unfortunately, I did just run into a couple bad years of mental health. And I'm really grateful that like I'm better from that now and I work on that now, but it definitely changed the trajectory of my life for a long time.
Yeah, totally understandable. And thank you for being comfortable enough to share that because I think that's a powerful message for people to hear and understand that like this stuff happens and happens to a lot of people. And like you've worked really hard to overcome this and move forward from that and take control of your life. And I think that's super powerful message for a lot of people. And it's totally understandable the path that you've taken because like
Yeah.
obviously it's I mean you should be proud of yourself in this instance to like to take that control of like not putting yourself in those situations to it would have been probably to fail if you were struggling with all that mental health at that point and
Hmm.
the repercussions of trauma
Yeah.
because like that's how does someone act normal and go through a college experience where it's supposed to be this whole transformative part of your life and this whole experience when you're battling demons that you have to I don't even know how you overcome that. Like you have to deal with that in a certain way and you should be proud of yourself that you were able to kind of make the decisions that you were able to make to put yourself in a position to where you are today.
Thank
Because
you.
that's that's powerful because a lot of people probably would really, really, really struggle with that. And I don't know if everyone can come out from the other side of that.
Yeah, I mean, I struggled for a long, long time. I still struggle. I still struggle today with it. Like, it's not something that you can ever really get over. Like, it's something that you kinda just you have to say it happened to you, and it's one of those things too, I think, like, nowadays, I feel like sometimes people will do the, like, everything happens for a reason and it's just like, there's no good reason, and, like, I have, like, learned that, like I said, or I think we were saying this earlier, like, I'm like, sometimes when things just they suck, they just absolutely suck, and there's, like, no, like, teachable moment from it. Like, it just I couldn't control it, it happened, and it like I said, it took too much. What I've realized now is and how I got back on my feet is I was like, "Wow, like, this moment in time, like, in what I went through, it took way too much time away from, like, my life that I'm supposed to be living." And that's, like, really what I had to keep saying to myself. Like, I'm like, I just it I got to, like, the lowest of the low. Like, I, like, thought I was going to college. Like I said, I was, like, up here. That, like, happened to me, and I just, like, completely, like, hit rock bottom after. And to get myself out of that, I just, like, had to, like there was, like, a 1% in me that was, like, because it really, like, got that bad at a lot of points, like, but, like, there definitely was a 1% of me that was, like, I deserve a good life, like, just get up and fight, you know what I mean? But it's really hard to do, like, really hard to do, and, like, that, like I said, like, it was 2 or 3 years of my life that completely were, like, for lack of better words, miserable. Like, I didn't really have a lot of ups in them, you know what I mean? I just was fighting the fight, and then I think I finally came back around at, like, 21. It happened to me when I was 18, so I think by, like, 21 was when I really kind of, like, just, I mean, I had times where I didn't even wanna live, like, I had to go to treatment a second time, because I really just was not in a good place again, so it definitely was a long road, and I think at, like, 21 years old, I kinda just was like, "You know what?" Like, that's, like, what I was kinda just saying. Like, I decided, like, you have to live. You're living your life. You're here for a reason." And I definitely think that, like, I tied God into that a lot. Like, I was like, "God has saved me. Like, God has me here. You need to figure it out. It's not gonna look great. It's very rocky." Like, all of a sudden wake up one day and say, like, "Oh, everything's better. Like, I've done all the work. Everything's better." Like, it's definitely like it goes like this. But yeah, I decided that I was just like, I deserve to live a good life, and, like, whatever I gotta do is what I gotta do. And it's funny because, like I said, that happened, like, when I was 21, where I finally started to get on a good path again, and now I'm 30, and I'm just like, those 9 years, like, I'm so grateful for, like, where I'm at now, like, and it almost feels like another life to me, and I'm just like, "Oh my god, like, this is why I'm here." You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
this is, like, what I didn't see for myself at that time, like, is what I have now, so
I think, and for what it's worth, I think acknowledging it and kind of just not letting it define you is so powerful because, like, I think a lot of people struggle with trying to run away from trauma instead
Mhm.
of just sometimes you have to face it because it's not going to
Yep.
go anywhere.
No,
Like
it's
it,
not.
and funny enough, this is kind of like somewhat related to the Noah Khan stuff where he was talking about like facing his own demons. Is like towards the end of the documentary, he's like, I've gotten a better job at like staring at the darkness and poking it with the stick and telling it to come out, like forcing it to come out, and like I'm not running from it. Like,
Yep.
and I think there's power in that because you're almost in some way, I feel like taking control of a situation where you're taking ownership of your own life and not letting something bad define you or what you're going to do. And I think we all can take stuff from that because like you can't allow the bad stuff to define you and derail you from what you want to accomplish in this life. And like obviously trauma's bad and like the level of stuff that has happened to you is disgusting and like it should be like we don't have to go into the negative of what I think should happen to those type of people.
Yeah.
But like living your life after and moving forward after, like I think turning to stuff like religion or God is super valuable for a lot of people, and it sounds like it was for you. And I'm
Mhm.
very happy for you that you found that peace in that, and that's given you strength to kind of move forward. And just hearing the way you speak about yourself and moving forward really really inspires me in that way because like hearing stuff like that, like it doesn't make you sad, like hearing stuff like
Yeah.
that, and like knowing people in my own life that have gone through stuff like that like it's frustrating, but seeing people like yourself who are powerful, who can move through things, and like when I look at your social media, it's very like you own the shit. Like this is who you are, and like I think that's great, and like that's the stuff that is what I'm seeing in the conversation. Like what I saw
Mhm.
on social media is stuff that I'm seeing in real life,
Yeah.
and like that's authenticity. I
Mhm.
think that's powerful, and like I'm really proud that you're able to move through this stuff and really take the ownership. And like I know it might sound like a weird word of that, especially with the stuff, but like I think acknowledging it and moving through it is usually the only way to get over it. And then
It
you don't get over it, but you know what I mean. You're like you're moving
Yeah,
past it
like
in some way.
yeah, and I think the thing for me was, like, I was like, I just, like and I had to become fully aware of what happened after because I definitely did derail, like,
Mhm.
and I had to get down with that too and be like, "Why did I derail so much?" And it's like, "Okay, well, you derailed so much because like, that's just it's awful." Like, it was awful, so it's like, that was the derailment, and then when I did go get help and, like, you know, pick at all the things that were going on, like, the main thing I got was, like, I just wanted control back, and I wanted to take my own life back, and that was, like, a lot of why, like and I had a very, like, healthy relationship with food and exercise at that point, and I developed an eating disorder, and I didn't expect that, and the main reason why is because I wanted to control something, because I just had lost all control, I felt like, after that happened to me, so that's why I would hyperfixate on things like that, and, like yeah, I mean, I definitely derailed for a while, and I'm just so thankful that something clicked to just, like I you just have to take your own life back, you know what I mean? And, like, it doesn't, like I think why I wanted to talk about it or do talk about it is because, like, that doesn't always look pretty, and, like, even, like, on my social media, like, you know, I don't really it's funny because I don't really know what I portray to other people on social media. I don't think we all know that about ourselves, like,
Yeah.
we put our content out there, but we don't really know for sure, like, what people see, you know, on their end. But I definitely, like, I don't wanna portray perfection in any mean, like, at all. Like, I'm very at the point in my life where I'm very comfortable to say, like, I've been through a lot, I've gone through a lot, like, I feel like I'm a survivor. I got these at 21. This says resilience, and then this is my cross. So that was, like, my I went and got these 2 tattoos at the same time, and that was, like, my day that I was like, "I'm taking my life back," like, taking my life back, like, finally, you know what I mean? So, I definitely just, like, want people to know that, like, that's not linear or perfect, and I don't wanna portray any sort of perfection. Like, that's why I really do like to not like I like talking about it, but I know it helps to talk about it. It helps me to talk about it, and I hope it helps anybody else to talk
Yeah.
about it.
And I appreciate you opening up about that because, like, obviously we talked about off air. Like, I'm not going to force you to talk about stuff you don't want to talk about. So you
Mhm.
being willing to share something like that, that's deep and painful, that goes a long way with helping people. And that's exactly the type of stuff that I'm like trying to promote on the podcast. Is
Yeah.
like we all have different things that we've gone through in this life, and like you don't know until you ask. Like, I
Yeah.
wouldn't have known any of this if I didn't reach out to you and have you come on a podcast. And like, obviously, my style is the way that I do my podcast. So like, these type of conversations are always open. Like, it could be whatever the guest wants to talk about. And like, if you listen to my guest last week, he was sexually assaulted, or my last episode, he was sexually assaulted at a young age, and that's contributed to a lot of his mental health. And like,
Mhm.
he recently had started opening up about this to people in his own life and social media, and he just kind of owning the fact that like this happened and I'm trying to take my life back and like take control of the situation and understand that this stuff happens to people.
Yeah.
And like that's so powerful, and I think we need more people to open up about this with obviously respect to their own mental health journeys and their own level with sharing that type of stuff, because it's obviously not easy to share something like that.
Mhm.
So, but it helps people because there are people who are struggling that don't know there are other people around them struggling that could help them. And this opens up that
100%.
door.
Yeah, and, like, I think, like, I actually didn't really open up about it. Can I take a drink? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, you're fine. You're fine. Happens. That's why I'm always like drinking and
Yeah,
stuff
no,
as we're going.
literally.
Live podcasting.
Excuse me. Um, but yeah, I took, like, a really long time to talk about it after it happened, like, unfortunately, when it did happen to me and I kinda, like, do wanna say that it was a different time period when it happened to me, like, in the way of, like, it happened to me in 2014, and
Mhm.
I feel like we've come a long way with letting people be open and honest, but, like, at the time period that it happened to me, I didn't really get support from people that I told. And I will say, like, I didn't tell my parents and I didn't tell my sister. Like, this probably will be the first this will be the first time they hear about it. So it's like the people in my life, like, like people in my life that are my core family didn't know. And like they saw me struggle for like 2 to 3 years. And like I said, I was in and out of treatment. And I feel bad. I feel very bad for the fact that they really didn't know why. But I went to go tell a few friends that I trusted after it happened to me. And like they just completely turned away from me and like turned their back on me. And like, I don't want to elaborate too much on that. But like what I will say is like, and the reason why I was saying this is because people don't speak out for years, like, after it happens to them. Like, it's not like something that happens to somebody and then they feel so comfortable to, like, talk about it. Because for me, like, I, like, had a lot of self-shame over it that I didn't expect because I didn't do it to me, obviously. Like, I didn't put myself in that position, and, like, something does happen, at least for me, where, like, I took on a lot of, like, shame and guilt, like, and I actually blamed myself, like, a lot for it, and, like, when I didn't get met with support that I should have been met with, honestly, like, of course, you know, um, I wasn't comfortable to speak about it, and then, I've met people and I have friends now that, like, I speak about it with and know about it, and it's, like, it's crazy to hear how common it is. It's so unfortunate how common it is, and, like, I'm really glad that, like, someone opened up on your podcast the last episode or 2 about it and, like, is sharing his story because it's really, really important, like,
Yeah.
really important, and, like, we can't judge people that don't speak out for years and then finally get the courage to speak out, like, 10, 12, 15 years later. Like, it's just unbearably difficult to walk around with, so I definitely just wanted to, like, make that clear too. Like, it's just very hard for people to just after something like that happens, just, like, because the process is grueling, like, like, what happened to me, like, the people in the situation that happened with me, they never got held accountable. Like, I don't really get justice for it because I didn't go that route because I didn't feel like I could, and people struggle with that as well, so
Yeah, the shame and the guilt is, from my understanding, is a pretty common emotion and feelings to feel after that stuff too, especially when you're so young. Like you don't have the control of those situations too a lot of the time, and it's unfortunate that the people you go to first don't always respond in a way that's helpful, and they
yeah.
don't help in the ways that you need, and especially, and that is a different time period too, and it's definitely, I feel like, gotten somewhat better, and as
Yeah.
time has gone on, but like it's still not an excuse, and it's unfortunately super common for a lot of people that the people that they open up to kind of turn away from that stuff, because unfortunately this type of topic is very dark and scary to address because no one wants to talk about this stuff. Like
Yeah.
we talked about on that episode with my guest last week, Tyler, when we talked about the sexual assault stuff. He's bipolar. He's talked about suicide. Like we had very real conversations about like the after effects of stuff like that, and like
Mhm.
this is stuff that's real, and like he's documenting his process and like the stuff that he's going through, and like it takes someone like that though to like open up and like acknowledge for people to be like, I've gone through this too. And like if you go through his comment, there's so many people that have gone through similar things. And it's so unfortunate that people don't feel confident to come forward with this, because a lot of the time the justice isn't being done and it isn't helping people, and it's still happening. And
Mhm.
even with the awareness and stuff like that, the awareness helps, but more actions need to be taken and people need to be held accountable for stuff like this. And it's sad that
100%.
it's still not happening to what we're in 2026, and we're still having issues. Like
Yeah.
it is crazy, and it is very unfortunate. But I do appreciate you like having this conversation with me and like feeling that you can. Like
Yeah, no,
I
thank you.
I
And, like, I will say, like, it's probably, like, I have a few people in my life that know about it, but, like, I said to you earlier, it's something I felt like I wanted to talk about today, and it's something that a few people in my life are gonna hear it for the first time, and that's really hard, that's really hard, and, like, I think my biggest thing with that being said is I just feel bad that they didn't know sooner because I know that they would have done right by me. It's just that I didn't really give them the chance because I didn't really feel like I could with the way that I was met with it. And like, I took a lot out on myself, similar to Tyler, where it's like, I thought about suicide. Like, I ended up in mental health facilities. Like, I ended up with anxiety, depression, and eating disorder just because I didn't feel comfortable enough to speak up. And, I look back at that girl, and I feel very sorry for her, and I get really sad for her a lot because I'm like, "What if I just said something?" You know what I mean? But, like, at this point in my life, I'm very aware as to why I didn't, and I understand why I didn't, and I can't regret that things went the way they did
Yeah.
because, as much as I said, like, I don't wanna be like, "That happens for a reason," when I do think about my life, I do try to tie in the fact that, like, I think my worst years are behind me with that experience, and, like, I just know I have so much life to live at this point, so, like, I say now, like, I'm 30, and at least I can say, like, confidently that the worst things happened to me when I was 18 years old, because like, I plan to be here until, like, 85, 90, so it's like, if, like, the worst things happened to me, like, already, then I'm pretty good, like, I'm good in life, you know? So
Yeah,
that's
and
my positive take on it.
I also think I've had a lot of people on the podcast share stuff with me that they might not have shared with other people, and sometimes it's easier to share to someone that doesn't know you, and I hold no judgments for you. I have no reason to. I don't know you,
Yep.
and like all you know is like kind of the platform and the stuff that I've shared so far, all like off air and stuff like that. And I try to create the space for conversations like this if people are willing to have them because I think they are important, and I think it's great to have them because there's things that you'll probably say to me like you have that you wouldn't have necessarily maybe shared to other people, and like I'm going to get a different version of you than maybe some of the closest people to you.
Yeah.
And like that's why I've had people always like, "Oh, can I bring someone? I feel more comfortable." Like I prefer not to because I don't want the energy in the room to be impacted by someone that you feel comfortable with or that you're close to, because I want you to be you. I don't want it to be impacted by anything else, like any other variable in the room or things of that nature, because like the conversation that we're having is pure, it's authentic, it's real, and when it's just us having the conversation, you're going to feel maybe a little bit more comfortable like you have been today, which I appreciate,
Mhm.
in sharing this information, and it's going to go a long way and hopefully improve and strengthen a lot of the relationships that you already have with the people that are closest to you. And like
Yeah.
that's the blessing of this is like it has in my own life too with my parents is like I say things about our relationship and stuff like that that I might not feel confident to say to them, and this is a pretty common feeling for a lot of people is like the things that we want to say to the people that are closest to us are usually the hardest,
Of
and it might be easy
course.
to say to someone that we don't know, and that's typically the route that a lot of us go.
Yeah, definitely.
So, pivoting from this a little bit,
Mhm.
and I want to get into the amazing stuff that you've done in your career, and like we're on the back end, but like I wanted to give the space to you and to share that because I think it was super important. Talk to me about the growth that you've had in your career, and then even from hair to modeling. Like, how do you make that jump, and how do you get into stuff like that?
Yeah, so hair has been awesome. It's funny because I didn't wanna go to a vocational school, I wanted to go to my regular high school, and I have to say, like, my parents know best. I got my license through there, and like I said, I circled back to it, and I started from the bottom all over again because I was out of the industry for, like, I think, like, 4 or 5 years at that point. Like, I was doing, like, side stuff, but, like, I didn't really get, like, a vigorous training, like, right out of high school or anything like that. So, I started at Supercuts, and I went there for my training, and I was on the floor there for 6 years as a hairstylist. I built up clientele. I had gone to, like, I was kind of like a floater, so I'd travel to different locations and just, like, work in different locations in Mass. And I just, like, really got confident in my skill set there. And then after doing Supercuts, I took an opportunity at a dry bar hair salon just to change it up. I didn't feel like super confident with styling hair and like kind of what they were doing. So I was like, let me go like learn that and just put myself in that new environment. Like I think I got kind of stagnant at Supercuts with growth. I ended up being a shift lead because I knew I wanted to like climb the ladder of management and things, but everyone was pretty set there and there wasn't like a sign of me becoming a manager anytime soon. Like it kind of seemed like the ladder was done with growing. So I was like, let me just like go do something else. So I went to dry bar. I was there for like a couple months and the manager we had left. So my boss approached me and was like, "Do you want to be the manager?" And I was like, "Yes." Like it was like the best thing in the world. So I did that for I would want to say a little under a year. And the reason I left there is I just felt like I was giving a lot and I wasn't getting enough back. Like I was salaried, I felt like I was there for so many hours, and I just like so many overtime hours that I wasn't getting, compensated for. And I felt like I was getting undercompensated, and I kind of felt like a little undervalued. And I really am proud of myself because I went and sought a better opportunity out, and I am in my career now. I'm in a new salon and I'm managing it, and like I'm just 100% taken care of in all the ways I need to be. So like I can just show up, do my job and run the salon and like do right by the whole situation and put my best foot forward, and I absolutely love it. So right now I work in Burlington at Madison Reed Hair Salon. I manage there, and yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. I definitely like see myself going farther than that, but I have a lot to learn about running a business because in this position I look at all the numbers and I do everything to run the business with the help of like my boss and things. But it's like it's definitely been a big learning experience. So that's kind of been my career growth. I just wasn't comfortable. I know some people like they want to go to work and have a certain level of responsibility and leave, and they don't want to take things home with them. And I totally respect that. But for me, I do like climbing the ladder a little bit and just seeing what I can do and having that potential. So that's been a great experience. And then the modeling started. Honestly, I feel like Brennan really encouraged that, a little bit. Like I saw what he was doing, and it just looked so fun and awesome. And I went into it and I kind of didn't like take it too seriously. I almost like my dance approach I had. I just was like, let me just see if I think this is fun and I like this. So I started working with a couple people in the area that were doing, TFP shoots, kind of just like creative collaborations. And I was just having so much fun with it that yeah, I've just kind of done it as a hobby. And then this year, actually, no, wait, 2025, I asked a friend, he has a clothing line, and I just asked him, I was like, hey, like, what are the chances of me like going to New York with you to walk like in New York Fashion Week? Because his line was going, and he was like, right away, he was awesome. Shout out to Yaz, he's awesome. He was like, let me just like let me just help you. Yeah, like he was like totally like let me like I would love to have you. Like I love having extra models and things like that. So he was like, let me like help you with the process and like let's get it going. So yeah, he like really believed in me and helped me get to New York. So I was able to walk in New York Fashion Week for 2025. Um, and then I just did, so I've done two New York Fashion Weeks and then I did one Boston show. And yeah, I don't know. It's been fun. Like I'm not putting too much pressure on it. I really enjoy it. I feel like I've made new friends with it. I feel like it's been really good for my self-confidence, which I didn't expect because I feel like modeling, you hear like you're modeling and you think there's all this pressure and you have to like look a certain way or be a certain size or anything like that. And it's actually been quite the opposite. I feel like there's a lot more like inclusivity and like just seeing different bodies and seeing different people on the runway. And it's like really cool and refreshing. So yeah, that's pretty much how that's been going. And as of now, like I just did my last show in New York for the fall, and I'm probably going to take some time off. I feel like when it gets nicer out in New England and it gets to summertime, I just get more into nature and I get more like I don't worry about that type of stuff. Like I don't really want to work as much. I just want to enjoy the season. So, and I've developed that relationship with it too where it's kind of like I'll say no to things if I don't wanna do them. I don't take on every job. I don't do it if I don't feel like it. I just do it when I feel creatively inspired. So
I actually really resonate with that. Like I think one, it's really cool that you're pursuing this stuff in hair and in the fashion that you're doing it, and then the way that you have this relationship with modeling of just kind of like doing it because it's fun, you enjoy it, and like the way that I look at like my podcast is very similar. Like it's not my money maker. Like I have a career
yeah.
in accounting and finance that I do, but I look at this and like because like I just look at it as like a like side hustle passion project that I'm always working. Like I do it and I just enjoy it. Like there's no pressure to perform. Like I don't
Mhm.
feel any way because I'm not performing for ads on social media. Like I'm
Yeah.
here having a great conversation with someone. Like that's
Mhm.
the only thing I care about. And like this is why I've done this for as long as I have because the relationship I have with it. And
Mhm.
I think that's such an important piece when we talk about stuff that you enjoy doing is like what is the relationship that you have with that passion, that project, that side hustle that you have? Because if you're constantly stressing yourself out about pursuing this and like that's your dream goal to do it, which can be great to do that and pursue that, but it also could derail you in like not motivate you to keep pursuing that in the way that you need to. And it might end up just fizzling out because you're stressing yourself out over something that you shouldn't stress yourself out over. And like just do it because you enjoy it. And if it becomes something more from that, that's awesome. But like the root of like that passion, and I stand firm on this, is always got to be you do it because you really love to do it.
Exactly. Yeah, cuz like and I totally resonate with that with modeling. It's like if at any point I don't feel like I'm loving it, I just take a break. Like it's not that deep. Like you said, like I'm not getting paid to do it. Like, it's like I think I've had one or two photo shoots where I've gotten paid and it's I would have done them anyways. And that's my other thing too, is like I'm not over here like trying to run some big business off of it and like catch a big break. Like it's not that for me at all. And like I think that's why, I resonate with what you're saying. I genuinely do it for fun. I definitely like, especially in more recent times, I'm just like, I don't want it to be by any means the most interesting thing about me. Like it's, I don't want it to be the forefront of what I do. It's just something that I like to do, and I lean into it when I think it's fun. And other than that, like, no pressure, you know?
I think that's the key is like the less pressure that you put on the stuff, the happier you'll probably be with it. And like the balance with that though is like understanding that sometimes you're going to need a little bit of pressure on this to like succeed, and it doesn't always have to be your passion. It could be your career or your relationship or whatever it is. Sometimes you have to test yourself a little bit and see what you can accomplish in that stuff. This is where like the gym is really useful because
Hmm.
you can test yourself in the gym, and that's like physical, but like sometimes you have to mentally test yourself, which is different, which comes in the forms of like the passion and stuff like that. But using the gym sometimes is like that playground where you can like physically test yourself, which also requires some mental strength to like accomplish stuff. If you're trying to push new weights or if you're into running, you're trying to get to that next mile, like that stuff is important to do as well as like respecting the enjoyment piece of it too.
Yeah, because like, and I definitely, I agree. Like, I'm definitely not just like only enjoyment, like no structure and discipline, because it does take discipline. Like, it does take discipline and structure, and like you have to get uncomfortable with yourself, and you have to like you said, like run that next mile, or just like, I've had times where like I've sent my comp card like a million different places, and like, getting to New York wasn't easy. Like it took a lot of practice. Like it does take you like having your foot on the gas. Like, so I don't want to undermine that at all, but I think having the balance is really important, just because like I'm living an everyday life. Like, it's like I'm a manager of a hair salon. Like I got to pay my rent. Like I got to pay my bills. Like I got to do all the things that everybody else has to do, and it's like, knowing that it's a hobby and I can step away from it is good. But at the same time, like having the teachable discipline still of it, and like wanting to go the extra mile for it is like where I feel like the passion resonates, and like where I push myself and where I can get uncomfortable, and like that's where like growth comes from. So,
That was beautifully said. That was so well, like
thank
that was
you.
perfect. Cause like the way that I even the book when I wrote the book, like I had like you said foot to the gas. I was dedicated towards doing that. Like I wrote that and I published it in 2024, right? Yeah, I'm doing the math in my head. Yeah, because we're in 2026. I just hit the 1 year, and that's why I did like a hardcover version for
Yeah, I was like
2025.
noticing that like this one was different from that a
Yeah,
little, and I was like, oh, it's just a
yeah,
hardcover,
just a
but it looks
hardcover. It's
so
just a way
good.
to like repost it and like get it out there
Yeah, I know,
again. But
that's
like
awesome.
I had to lock in with that was like I had to do like I created like a schedule for myself like during the weekdays like I had to do something book related for at least 30 minutes.
Hmm.
And like if I did more, awesome, but has to be 30 minutes. And it's crazy the amount of like stuff you can actually accomplish when you set your mind to something like that. Like I never thought I could write a book. I always like thought like, yeah, it'd be cool to write a book, like, but what do I write about? And then I started like I kind of got back into like meditation a little bit, and like I was just like taking time to myself and journaling a little bit more. And I shit you not, like I don't it just came from somewhere. I don't know how, like I don't know what. Like I always say it's like sometimes you get these callings in life, and you just gotta be willing to pick up the phone and answer. It's
Mhm.
the same way I started this podcast. Like I got a call and I answered. Like I don't know. You could say God. I like to say universe. Like it could be whatever. It's something spiritual that like
Yeah.
ignited me to do this, and like it just it feels like I'm in alignment with with what I'm supposed to be doing, and I don't put too much pressure on numbers and succeeding in social media because like in the end of the day, like it doesn't matter. Like, am I impacting people in a way that's positive and good? Am I pushing society forward in a way that I think is good?
Mhm.
I feel like I am. I feel like I'm doing the right thing in that sense. And like, if you feel like you're doing that, like, I feel like you're doing pretty good. Like, you don't have to have $1 million in the bank to say you're doing good. You don't have to have a million followers on social media to think you're doing good. Like, do you have good relationships? Do people like you? Like, that
Yeah,
stuff matters a little bit more than that.
totally. And it's like kind of like what, I've had a relationship with trying to figure out like what my definition of success is because I feel like especially with social media we kind of have gotten propaganded to think that it's one way and it's like I'm like it's so not like that for me. Like it's not like I think about it like with the modeling I still would have done like every modeling gig I've done, every show I've done, I would have done it with or without like the cameras and like the posting to Instagram and like all of it. Like I would have just done it for myself. And I would have done it to like meet the people I met and like make those connections cuz like I really have like good relationships from it with like just the creative people involved in the shoots and just like the photographers and just the other models. It's like you just meet new people and a lot of the conversations that like we're having or a lot of stuff that we've been talking about. Like we're kind of all just relating to each other in a lot of ways of like we live in a world with social media being like seeming to be so important and we do all like it and we think it's really valuable for a lot of reasons, but we're all dying to like get off of it too. And we're all dying to like be in the sun more and go out in nature more and like do that type of stuff that honestly I feel like for us because you said you're 30 right
Yeah.
as well when we were kids we didn't care about this stuff and you
It was like
just
the perfect generation of like grew up with like just enough technology, and then as like middle school years, like the Facebook and stuff started to really come into play, Instagram, Snapchat, and it's like
Mhm.
almost yearning for the childhood we had. Like
Yeah.
it was just enough where it's like we saw this change, and like it's just so interesting to see that, and like I always keep finding myself wanting to get off. Like when I do hikes, like it's like the best thing in the world because I'm not on my phone because I'm off service.
Yeah.
Like I love that shit. Or when I do a podcast, like we're not on our phones. Like I'm hitting the button because I'm controlling the cameras, but like we're not on
Yeah.
our phones.
And, like,
Like you're
we're, like, using
disconnected.
technology, but, like, we're, like, not in the way of, like, like, it's not like I'm, like, sending a text like, 1 second, I'm, like,
Yeah.
sending a text. Like, no, like, we're connecting, and it's great. And, yeah, I just feel like we do all crave that a little bit more. Like, I've limited myself. Like, I've told everybody in my life, like, I will I'll never get a TikTok again. I had one during COVID. It kept me up all night. And, like, I know COVID we had nothing better to do and like I know that's when TikTok came out and we
Mhm.
were all scrolling like crazy, but at this point like I have Instagram and Snapchat and like that's my capacity. Like I have Facebook too, but I literally have it for Marketplace cuz like I just buy and sell things off
Yeah. I use
Marketplace,
Marketplace for my
but
family
like
and stuff like
I'm
that.
not, like I feel like Facebook's kind of our parents and it's like not really for us
Not
sometimes
anymore.
anyway.
Yeah.
Not
It's
anymore.
I just you don't see like or like for TBH stuff anymore. It's not like that anymore. Not
Yeah.
like when we were kids.
Like a few weeks ago, my sister accidentally poked me on Facebook and she
I know you
texted
can still
me.
do that.
She texted me, she's like, I'm so sorry I just poked you on Facebook. She's like, that was a total accident. And I was like, I didn't even know they still had a poke. Like, what?
That just brought up memories. That was
Yeah, no,
weird.
like poking people, I
Ugh.
can't.
But Alexandra, we're on the back end of the podcast. I want to start bringing us home. I feel like this has been a fantastic podcast. We've hit so many great things. Um, I do have that last question for you, but is there anything you wanted to hit on before we get to that last question?
um, no, I feel like we kind of brought it all together.
Yeah, we covered a lot. We
We
circled
definitely
back on
did.
everything, and I think this is the perfect question to kind of tie the bow on this. So, what would your advice be for someone who wants to pursue their passion?
For someone who wants to pursue their passion, I would say definitely pursue your passion and do it for yourself. Have awareness about who you are and like just check in with yourself mentally enough to balance it out. And yeah, I would say just make connections. Don't be afraid to get into rooms and just ask the questions and do the research you need to do. And don't be afraid to fail because it could happen, and just know how to be resilient with it.
Perfect. And it probably will happen. You're gonna
Yeah.
fail. Like
I mean, I failed so many times.
if you're not failing, you're probably not doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Because like it's part of the process. Like the amount of things that I scrap from that book, or like bad podcasts that I have, and like questions that I wish I had asked. Like it happens. Like you're gonna fail, and it's what can you do with that failure? What can you
Mhm.
learn from that failure? It's never an L. It's a learning lesson. It's the key.
Yeah, like, I feel like your passion, like, you're doing something you love to do and you wanna pursue it, but it can be messy and it can be hard and, like, you can need people's help with it, and it might take a small village, you know what I mean? Like, if you need people to help you with the vision, like, bring on a team and, just try to get people on board, and yeah, definitely don't be afraid to fall down and get back up.
Perfect. I appreciate you for so much for coming on this podcast and sharing what you've shared on this podcast. Like this has been one of those episodes where it's like this is kind of why I do it, and like having a space and you feeling comfortable enough to share this stuff with me, like it doesn't go unnoticed, and I really do appreciate you being so open and honest with me. Like it goes a long way with me, and hopefully everyone that listens will appreciate it on the same level that I am. So thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you so much. You gave me a great safe space to do so, so I'm really happy I did.
And if you want to look into this camera, plug where the people can find you.
So like I said, I am only on Instagram. My handle is literally Alexandra Bonugli, my first and last name, all lowercase, no spaces. So you can find me on there. And that is my limit to social media.
And that's the only place, guys. That's it.
Only place you can find me. Other than that, I am taking a hike, taking a walk.
Perfect. So, for you guys like the podcast, please rate, review, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your family, share with your grandma. Check out the carrollconnection.simplecast.com. Also available Apple Podcast, Spotify, and all the major listening platforms. If you'd like to watch your podcast, go on YouTube, search the Carroll Connection or at Jared M. Carroll, and it'll pop right up for you. And if you want to be a guest or return as a guest, hit me up on Instagram at Jared M. Carroll or at the Carroll Connection. And plug in the 5 pillars of creating a meaningful life. It's only available on Amazon. And if you like the book and you read it, submit the review. It goes a long way in the algorithm. So, till next time, guys. Peace.